got our tank, guys. Let's get this thing running. Let's go unbox this and make sure it's the right one. All right, folks, here's the new tank. I found a part number. I've got the old tank still over here. Kind of see it in the background. I actually found the part number on the tank. And everything that I've researched says that each part number is specific for the paint code. So with any luck, I found a new old stock tank. Oh, and I also got this in the other day, a brand new OEM replacement fuel pump assembly. So I believe that the only thing we're going to have to switch over on this tank, provided that it's the correct tank, is the fuel filter cap assembly, which we'll have to do a little cleaning on. But let's see. And it is, guys, it is the right color. And if you're just joining us, I invite you to go and look at the other videos, and you'll see that this bike has 77 original actual miles on it. It's a 2008 model, and the tank is basically junk. Make sure there's nothing else in this box and I'll get it out of our way. Nope, nothing else. So the tank that was on it is basically junk, and I just couldn't justify buying an aftermarket tank or buying a tank that wasn't factory color. Look at this, guys. This thing is brand spanking new. Factory stripes. Get all this stuff out of the way and I'll get y'all in here to look at it a little closer. The only thing that it's missing is the Suzuki sticker, but I can order one of those. I didn't think about it, or I would have already ordered one. Looky there. So, like I said, we're going to have to replace the, or not replace, but use the old filler cap. And then we can install the fuel pump. And then we can put it on the bike and get this dude fired up. So, let me get rearranged here and we'll get started on this. Okay, let's strip this old tank down. Get all the good off of it. Like I was saying in the last clip, this Suzuki emblem, I'll have to order some of those to put on the new tank. But that's certainly not going to stop us from getting it running and possibly taking it around the block in this video. If nothing else goes wrong and I don't need to order anything else for the fuel system, can't think of anything. I looked at the fuel rail, and the way the fuel rail is designed, I really don't think that the injectors have been sitting in fuel. I haven't taken it off, but I'm going to take my chances. And, okay, so I need to remember that one is a short one for some reason. So, I'm going to grab the key. whole assembly comes out. we'll get that thing cleaned up to where it's like new here directly. We don't want to put that old crap in the new tank. But let's get everything off this tank that we think we're going to need, and then we can assemble the new tank. So I know we're going to need these little inserts right here. Now, what the easiest way is to get those out of there is beyond me, but just like that. Okay. So that's the little inserts for the front bolts. We're going to need this entire contraption here. It's held on with some Allen heads. One more, and I think we're going to have most of what we need off of this tank. We can get it out of the way and start piecing the other one back together. I've had pretty good interest in this bike. It will be for sale. I love motorcycles, but I'm just too old to be riding around on a Hayabusa. I don't have the mental fortitude to not act a fool on it. Okay, so there's that assembly. Get this little rubber grommet off of here. And I put this on in another video just to close that off so it wouldn't leak. So I don't think we're going to need those. Actually, I know we're not going to need those. But I believe that's all we need off of this tank. So let's go put the other one together. Okay, first things first, let's get this one clean. This gas tank assembly, filler cap thingy, let's get it cleaned up so we're not putting junk in our new tank. I appreciate you guys watching all of this. I do have more projects for the future if this one comes to an end at this video. We do a little bit of everything around here. We do a little drag racing, we do a little antique picking, street rods. We are signed up to attend SICK 66 which if you don't know what that is, it's Tom Bailey's sick week, and it will be going from Missouri to New Mexico, following along with a bunch of race cars that have to drive from track to track and race daily. I think it's 5 or 6 different tracks this time. That'll be in October. We do the paint swap meet. I'm gonna get a little brush. We do the paint swap meet in April. That's always a fun time. I also collect porcelain signs, and like most other hot rodders, which is probably what got us all started, I also collect Hot Wheels. So this is cleaning up better than I expected. So that's good. Probably should have got a new seal, but this one's still got good rubber springiness, whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. Where'd that little pick go? Get this stuff in these little edges here. Like I said, we don't want anything else getting in this new tank. For anybody curious, I don't really mind sharing. The new tank from Suzuki, they wanted right at $1,400 for the tank. And while I was going to pay that, I lucked out and found one online through Partszilla, which they do not sponsor. They can if they want to, but found a new old stock one for a little over $900, so saved $500 there. And then the fuel pump, Suzuki wanted $1,200 for, and I was able to find one for $700. So saved another $500 there, which makes me happy. Again, this bike, I didn't want to put any, there's way cheaper options out there for fuel pumps and stuff, but I didn't want to put any aftermarket parts on it, being that the bike only has 77 original miles. In fact, this is still a little discolored, so I'll probably end up ordering a new one just because I want this bike perfect. But that's an easy change, an easy swap over. So we'll get this one cleaned up and we'll put it on for now. Okay. Let's see. Flips this way. No, flips this way. So it looks like this is just a dummy screw. That's why it was shorter. I got concerned because this doesn't have threads, but I think it's just a dummy screw to keep things looking uniform. So is this one. So that's why the bolts are different sizes. been riding motorcycles all my life, so I'm super excited to take this thing for a ride. But like I said, the traffic and the condition of the roads around here are way less than ideal, so I won't be keeping this thing. Not to mention, I just have too much to lose these days to get smothered by a car. A few years ago, I used to ride a Harley Davidson Ultra Classic, and I had another Harley Davidson pull out in front of me, and I T-boned him. And that pretty well, I did have another one after that, but that pretty well did me in for riding on the street. I just couldn't get comfortable on the next one. So, all right. There's that. Still got a little gunk on it here. But like I said, I think I'm going to probably order a new one, just to make this thing as perfect as it needs to be. Alright, next up, let's get these little rubber grommets put back in the bolt holes here. Trying to do as much of this in real time so you guys can see that it's not all peaches and butterflies. There's one. Not good at talking to myself. You guys got any questions or comments about this bike? I'm glad to listen to them, hear them, answer them. Had a few people express interest in buying it, and like I said, it will be for sale. Ouch. I do have a clear Texas title on it. Trying to wiggle this thing in here without scratching the paint. Okay, there's that. Stick that little booger in there. They got these little metal spacers to keep from crushing that gasket too far. So that's that. And next, I gotta remember how this went. I think It goes like this. Get that one started. Thought I got it started anyway. Can't really see. Tank's slippery. I don't want to scratch it up for dang sure. Okay, there's one. Raise y'all up a little bit here. See what's going on. Okay, there's two. You know, when I first got this bike, I had no intentions of getting it running. I was just gonna hang it up in my shop for decoration. It's hot in here. Like I said, I was just gonna hang it up in my shop for decoration. I know that sounds silly, but I knew that I didn't want to ride it. And to spend the money to fix it just to hang it up at first didn't make any sense to me. And I'll just be honest, it's gonna have a pretty price tag on it because of the fact that it only has 77 miles. I know I keep saying that, but it just excites me to have found a basically brand new motorcycle. Unfortunately, the way I found it was the owner passed away, and I bought basically his entire estate, including a bunch of tools and cars and other motorcycles, all of which have been sold, except for I do have one other motorcycle left, but it's a basket case, so it'll be a long time before I mess with it, probably. Okay, there's that. Okay, I'm gonna pause this and reconvene. Okay, for those of you that don't remember or haven't seen it, this is the old fuel pump assembly. And let's get started putting that sucker in. Okay, I've already spotted an issue. I don't think I got a new O-ring with the new fuel pump. Let me see. I did not. So, let's shoot over here to the old one. And pull this O-ring out. No reason I shouldn't be able to reuse that. It's good and soft. We'll give it a little bit of a bath. Yep, I'm not worried about that at all. Get that popped down in there. Okay. Now then, let's remember how this goes in. I may have to go revert to the other video. Because I don't want to have to do this twice. So let me do that. Let me go look at the other video and see how this thing comes out, or which way this fuel line faces. Okay, I referred back to the video, and that is how it's supposed to go. To say that I'm excited is a little bit of an understatement. I probably already said that. Did I mention that I'm excited? I also got to remember not to let my excitement make me forget something important. Which never happens, right? In 2006, I bought a brand new Hayabusa and had it for a couple of years and put, I don't know, 4,000 miles on it maybe. I'm a pretty fair weather rider when it comes to, I was going to say street bikes, but really anything. I don't want to be cold and I don't want to be miserable hot. I want to enjoy it when I ride. All right, that is that. Put these little bumper things back on here. think that's where they went. Doesn't seem right. I think these went, I don't know. Maybe this one went over here, no? There's a heat shield, let me grab that. I'll have to look again. I've got some more of these little bumpers. Figure out exactly where they go. I think this one goes here. And I think these more shallow ones go back here somewhere. Stand by. Well, I'm just going to leave them all off for right now, and I'm going to go back and look at the video before we put the tank on. But for right now, let's put this on. And this okay. The only other thing that I know we need to do before moving on is we need this fuel line off of the old pump. All right, there's that. Okay, let's move over to the bike. All right, let's get the bike ready for the tank. If you remember the last video, we got it running just on some squirting some fuel into the throttle bodies, and so the airbox lid is still off, so we need to put that back together. And to do that, we need to get it lined up. Like that. And we need a screwdriver. And some screws. Maybe we can do this without dropping any. A smart man would probably start them with a, a hand screwdriver, but that's no fun. One more down in there. I'll have to get an extension for. Actually, I'll just do that one with my regular screwdriver. Be a little quicker. If you guys don't want to watch me chase tools, all right. Next, guess we need to get the tank over here and try to get it bolted down. Get y'all down a little closer for that. This might be a little tricky doing it with one person. But I bet I can figure it out. I guess it's not real tricky at all. Bolt it down. I am missing one of these bolts. It was gone when I took it apart, so I'll have to order one. I forgot about it. But no big deal. I do want to get these started by hand Matches pretty good though. I dig it. Oh, I'm missing two. I forgot that in the first video we stripped one of these out. So I'll have to get two of those. And that's no problem to get those zipped on there. Now the tricky part might be getting up underneath here to plug everything in and hook up the fuel line. I have to figure out some way to prop this up. So let me figure that out real quick, and then I'll be right back. All right, we got the tank propped up. Get in here and see if I can hook up the wires and the hoses and all that good stuff. Okay. Here's that. Okay. Now there's two vent hoses on the back that I'll have to hook up. But I can do that right here on the side. I don't know why there's two of those. Okay. All things considering, I should be able to put some gas in it and hook up the battery booster box again and fire this sucker up. Now, will it go that easy? You and I are going to find out together here in just a minute. I'm going to leave the front of the tank unbolted right now so I can lift it up once I put fuel in it and make sure, you know, there's no leaks or anything. So let me go get my fuel and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got some non-ethanol fuel here. I like to try to run this stuff in anything that I can. It's just easier on parts. Something pretty satisfying about being the first one to pour gas into a gas tank. want to put plenty of fuel in it so I don't get the pump hot, especially being the first startup. Alright. Couple of gallons worth there. Let me grab my booster box and we'll see if this thing will fire up. I'll obviously get a battery for it. But I wasn't expecting the gas tank to come in today, and I got the text that it was in, so why not get this thing on and figure it out. I'll back up a little bit. If you guys need a booster box, these things are phenomenal. These, it's a JNC 660. It's basically like carrying a motorcycle battery with you. All right, well, here goes nothing. I heard the fuel pump. I'm going to prime it a couple of times. And try and here we go. Well, this isn't what I expected. It ran so good when we poured the fuel in, so maybe the injectors are plugged up. Let me lift this up and see. Make sure everything's dry. There's nothing unhooked. Well, I'm going to do a little bit of digging on this thing and see if I can figure anything out. Okay, I'm just going to leave it running, or the camera running, while I mess around with this thing. I did wrap a zip tie around the clutch handle so that I don't have to keep holding it in. I got a free hand to try to turn it over. The fuel pump's running. The injectors are clicking, but for some reason it's not firing. So I don't know if the injectors are clicking well enough to spray. So I thought while I was turning it over, I might tap on them to see if it might free them up. I don't know. I'm just shooting in the wind here. I am not a motorcycle mechanic. Every time I hit the button, the fuel pump repressures. So I'm thinking maybe if I keep doing that, it'll flush these injectors out a little bit. I don't know. Tapping on them didn't do anything, so I'm not going to do that anymore, obviously. The gas gauge is working, showing a half a tank. So I feel like everything's hooked up right. I might pull the airbox off again and see if that might get things going. It almost acts like it's not getting fire, but I haven't done anything else to it to stop it from getting fire. Not that I know of, anyway. I double checked my connections. Everything seems to be plugged in good. Injectors are all plugged in. The injector harness is plugged in. I don't know. Okay, pulled the airbox cover back off. For my peace of mind, I'm going to do like we did in the last video and just put some fuel into the throttle bodies. And see if it'll just bust off. Okay, so we're just not getting fuel. So I guess the injectors are bad or clogged up or all of the above. Okay, I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the fuel line off and make sure the pump is pumping. It's making noise, but that's not to say that it's pumping. So let me get set up on that. Okay. I'm going to shove some rags down here because the last thing I want to do is fill this little valley with fuel. Kind of a booger to do one-handed. Come on, girl. Be good to me. There we go. Okay, it's got fuel. It was pressured up for sure. Okay, that makes me feel good. Probably gonna regret this, but in the name of science. Okay, got fuel. I'm gonna put that back together. Okay, fuel pump hooked back up. Alright guys, I think it's going to need some injectors. I was really hoping to ride this thing this video, but looks like there might be a part 4. Thanks for watching.